There's something nobody talks about when it comes to high school loners. Everyone assumes they're just quiet kids who prefer their own company, introverts who need alone time, maybe even future success stories who are too focused on their goals to bother with social drama. But that's not the whole picture, not even close. Because being a loner in high school isn't just about preferring solitude. It's about surviving in a system designed for groups, for visibility, for constant social performance, when you have none of those things. Picture this. Teacher announces group projects. The room explodes with energy in seconds. Everyone immediately turns to their friends, forming groups through eye contact and whispers, chairs scraping as people pull desks together. The loner sits completely still, pretending to organize their backpack, while anxiety builds in their chest like pressure behind a dam. They're always in the leftover group. Always. That random collection of people nobody wanted, assembled by the teacher with forced cheerfulness. During the first meeting, everyone's polite but distant, exchanging numbers they'll never actually use for anything meaningful. The loner can feel it, that invisible wall, the unspoken agreement that this is temporary cooperation, not friendship. So they do 80% of the work, not because they're controlling or perfectionistic, but because they'd rather do it alone than face the awkwardness of coordinating. The group chats they're added to but never really part of. The plans made around them but not with them. They tell themselves they prefer it this way. They tell themselves it's easier. On presentation day, the group members thank everyone for contributing. The loner gets the same grade despite carrying the project. Nobody notices. Nobody cares. And here's what breaks my heart about this. The loner goes home that day, and their parent asks how the project went. And they say it went fine. We all worked together. It was good. Because admitting the truth feels worse than the loneliness itself. Or take birthdays. It's their birthday. They don't post about it, don't announce it, but there's this secret hope buried deep that someone will remember. Morning announcements don't mention their name, only athletes and club presidents get birthday shout-outs. At lunch, they sit alone as usual, checking their phone repeatedly, a few generic happy birthday texts from relatives, nothing from classmates. They watch groups of friends surprise each other with cupcakes, balloons, singing in the cafeteria. After school, their mom asks how their special day was and if friends did anything nice. They lie and say yes, everyone was really sweet. That night, they scroll through Instagram, seeing birthday posts for people they barely know, getting 200 likes and dozens of comments. They close the app and tell themselves birthdays don't matter anyway. But they do. They really do. If this is hitting close to home, if you're recognizing yourself or someone you know in these moments, hit that subscribe button. Content that actually talks about the reality of high school loneliness instead of just offering shallow advice gets buried by algorithms that prioritize noise over truth. Your subscription matters. Now, here's where most people get it completely wrong about high school loners. They assume it's a choice, that these kids are antisocial or difficult or just need to try harder to make friends. But that's not how it works. Not really. Because the dark side of being a loner isn't the solitude itself. It's the constant performance of being okay with it. It's sitting alone at lunch and having to look content, peaceful even, so nobody pities you. It's perfecting the art of looking busy, headphones in, book open, phone in hand, so it seems intentional rather than desperate. Psychologists call this social camouflage, the ability to blend into your environment by appearing purposeful in your isolation. And here's what's insane about it. Loners become masters of this. They learn to time their bathroom breaks to avoid crowded hallways, to eat lunch at strategic locations where being alone looks normal, to study in the library, not because they love academics, but because it's a socially acceptable reason to be by yourself. Every single movement is calculated to avoid the one thing they fear most, being visibly, pitiably alone. But here's the deeper truth that nobody wants to acknowledge. This constant performance, this daily theater of being fine, it carves something out of you. Because you're not just alone, you're watching everyone else not be alone. You're sitting in classrooms hearing about weekend plans you weren't invited to. You're seeing Instagram stories of parties you didn't know existed. You're listening to inside jokes you'll never understand, watching friendships deepen while yours never begin. Let me tell you what that does to a person. It creates this split, this painful division between who you are and who you have to pretend to be. At home, you might be funny, opinionated, full of thoughts and feelings and creativity. But at school, you become small. You become quiet. Not because that's your nature, but because you've learned that visibility without social protection is dangerous. Speaking up in class means risk. Showing enthusiasm means potential mockery. Being yourself means being seen. And being seen without a group to back you up feels like standing naked in a spotlight. And here's where it gets even darker. The loner starts to internalize the loneliness. They begin to believe the narrative that there's something wrong with them, that they're somehow defective or broken or fundamentally unlikable. Because when you're surrounded by people forming connections effortlessly, while you struggle to maintain even basic friendships, what other conclusion can you draw? The evidence seems overwhelming. Everyone else has people. You don't. Everyone else gets invited. You don't. Everyone else seems to possess some social blueprint you were never given. This is what researchers call the loneliness loop. Loneliness creates anxiety about social situations, which makes you more awkward in social situations, which reinforces the loneliness, which increases the anxiety. Round and round it goes. And in high school, where social hierarchies are rigid and friend groups are already established, breaking out of this loop feels nearly impossible. You're not just fighting your own insecurity, you're fighting an entire social structure that wasn't designed with you in mind. But here's what nobody tells you about being a high school loner, and this is critical. That survival skill you're developing, that ability to be alone without falling apart, that's not weakness, that's not proof that you're broken. That's strength that most people won't develop until their 30s, if ever. You're learning self-reliance in an environment designed to punish it. You're learning to find meaning and identity outside of group validation. You're learning that your worth isn't determined by how many people sit with you at lunch. I know that doesn't make the loneliness hurt less. I know that doesn't make the birthday that nobody remembered sting any less sharply. I know that doesn't fill the silence during group projects or make weekend questions any easier to answer. The pain is real. The isolation is real. Don't let anyone minimize that. But the strength you're building is also real. The clarity you're developing about who you are without the distortion of group identity, that's real too. Here's the thing about high school that nobody wants to admit. It's a temporary ecosystem with artificial social rules that don't apply anywhere else in life. The same qualities that make you a loner at 16, the thoughtfulness, the independence, the inability to perform fake enthusiasm, those same qualities become assets in adulthood. The depth you're developing while everyone else is developing breadth, that matters. The comfort with solitude you're building while everyone else is terrified of being alone with their own thoughts, that's going to serve you. And here's what I need you to understand if you're living this right now. Your high school experience is not a preview of your entire life. The people who peak in high school, the ones with the big friend groups and the constant social validation, many of them will spend their 20s and 30s desperately trying to recreate what they had at 17. But you're learning how to build a life from the inside out. You're learning that connection is about quality, not quantity. You're learning that being alone is different from being lonely. Does that mean you have to stay isolated? No. Does that mean you shouldn't try to connect with people? Absolutely not. But it means you get to be selective. It means you don't have to settle for surface-level friendships just to avoid being alone. It means you can wait for people who actually see you, who actually value the depth you bring, who actually want to know the version of you that exists beyond the cafeteria performance. So, if you're the loner right now, the one sitting alone at lunch, the one whose birthday nobody remembered, the one carrying group projects while feeling invisible, hear this. You are not broken. You are not defective. You are not too much or too little or fundamentally unlikable. You are navigating a system that wasn't built for people who think deeply, feel intensely, and refuse to perform belonging they don't feel. And that refusal, that quiet resistance to fake it, that's not your weakness, that's your integrity. Your loneliness right now is not a life sentence, it's a chapter. A hard chapter, a painful chapter, but just a chapter. And the strength you're building in this silence will echo through the rest of your life in ways you cannot yet imagine.